why are they making the Romulans so hot? So I'm not necessarily a fan of flashbacks to show us how we should feel in the present for a certain character or situation, but I feel like Star Trek Picard is doing a really good job of it, and I've been enjoying the flashbacks to the evacuation of the Romulans and then the Mars fiasco. That being said, episode 4 of Picard just... Does anyone feel like these flashbacks are just another example of how everyone just hates Picard now and how he just became a total fucking coward? I never imagined Picard as an all-or-nothing person. Either I save everyone or I save no one. That's just not who he is. So it's really weird to see that Picard in this show. And I know Patrick Stewart said that the only way he'd sign on to play Picard again was if he was a completely different man than when we last saw him, and that the Federation is completely different. But I feel like they could have gotten Picard to this position without making him a total piece of shit. Such as, okay, he resigned from Starfleet. He banked that his resignation would get them to help. It blows up in his face. He ends up resigning. He then pulls in favors from friends, from colleagues, from all over, trying to help out these Romulans, but his colleagues, his friends, whatever, they lose resources, be it ships or money. They end up losing people they care about. So because they were loyal to Picard, I mean, he even said that, what was it, in the first episode or the second episode, where he went, I don't want to drag in the people that I know would be loyal to me. I don't want to put them through that. I don't want to cost them where they're at. That very well could have worked into 14 years ago where, oh, I tried to pull in all these favors to help the Romulans because I'm Picard, I'm not gonna give up, and then it all just blew up in my face, and now my friends and colleagues cut ties with me because they're so bitter and angry, and this is why I went to my vineyard and I'm by myself and I'm sulking because everywhere I turn, I let some people down. And you could still have the Romulans being PO'd at him because, well, why'd you choose to save these people but not these? Why'd you choose to save this family that sucks when you could have saved this family that was awesome? So we could have gotten to the same place we're at in the show without making Picard out to be a coward. And I really don't like that. But again, I've talked about this quite a bit. It's the in thing to take our heroes and turn them into garbage human beings. But let's talk about something positive. That flashback to him on Vashti and Eleanor as a little boy was adorable. Also, Romulan warrior nuns. I know they appeared in the novel, but seeing them in a Star Trek show is pretty funny. You know, they could have made it so comical and just so overboard as Star Trek shows tend to do nowadays, but it was hilarious and it worked. And of course the Romulans have assassination nuns. Why wouldn't they? I did like them addressing Picard not liking kids and him not being very emotional. He kept things very professional with people, never really had any emotional outbursts, except for when he was dealing with PTSD, but, you know, that was understandable in those circumstances. So seeing him bond with a little kid, and that he changed in that way where he could be around them and form bonds with them and share things he loved. Like, of course he brought him a book about the Three Musketeers. Come on, Picard. And teaching the little boy to fence and all that. That was adorable character progression that made sense without stomping on the character. Grown-up Eleanor kind of looks like an elf. I'm not sure if other people think that. I'm not sure if that's just my own imaginations. He looks like a brunette Legolas to me. I couldn't get the elf imagery out of my head. Although in fairness, when people mention Romulans, I imagine these. I don't imagine these beefcakes. You know, I know it's a thing, if you even look back a couple decades, how we've just upped the standard of beauty on television, and hot Romulans is the best thing to come from it. Still on Elnor, though. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked with Hot Romulans. It's gonna happen, I have a feeling, repeatedly, because, God, are they so hot. When I saw the teasers and trailers for Star Trek Picard and saw Picard's crew that he was putting together, I thought, oh, alright, this is gonna be a cliche crew brought together. Oh, we have the tortured pilot. Oh, we have the badass warrior. Oh, we have the sassy woman that has problems with Picard. It felt so generic and so cliche, and I have to say how they're fleshing out their personalities and their backstories, it's really delightful. Elnor, I am instantly, they didn't use that much screen time. I love him. I love his backstory. I believe his connection to Picard. It's so adorable. I don't understand how we can have examples of something that's cliche but done right so it doesn't feel groan-worthy, and then we have all these other movies and shows that can't manage that. It makes you look really bad when Star Trek Picard can introduce a character and not give him a lot of screen time, and you instantly fall in love with him. Other shows, you need to up your game. Also, does anyone love the morale builder with, oh, what does it take for him to bind himself to our quest? Oh, it has to be a lost cause. Oh. Cool, great pep speech, thanks. Ooh, minor complaint about the flashback, and then I'm going to move on. They didn't do as good of a job de-aging Picard in that one as they did with him and Raffi after the whole Mars issue and then Picard resigning. There was a very big difference. He looked a lot younger with Raffi in that flashback than he did with this one. So, inconsistent de-aging. It's not a hill I'm gonna die on, though. I enjoyed Raffi's comments about how Picard can't even take a guilt trip without taking a starship. The cash gift is always appropriate from Rios was pretty hilarious. Also, I have a feeling Picard said, I may never come by this planet again, is because of his neurological condition. And if he doesn't die by the end of this series, I'd be shocked. Not by the end of the season, because we already know they're doing a second season. But if he doesn't die by the end of this series, however many seasons they decide to do it, I'd be floored. I think that's where they're going with this. Okay, I have a few more things to talk about on the Picard side of the episode. Is anybody absolutely in love with those holograms? I do not know why I am loving them so much. It could be so annoying. They could make those holograms so annoying, and for some reason, I fucking love them. I wonder if Rios' actor is having so much fun putting on the different clothing and wigs and personalities of the holograms. I hope he's getting paid a lot of money for that. And if you love the holograms, let me know in the comment section down below so I don't feel so lonely. And then finally, of course, we had the big ship battle in space because we have to. We have to have these crazy action scenes in every episode because that's where we're at. I love them going from side to side while being hit and evading the other ship. It reminded me of the behind-the-scenes Star Trek footage where to film those scenes, you just see all the actors going to the side together, because it's not like they're moving the camera or the actual, what do you call it, area that they're in. There's a word for it, it evades me. So I just imagine them doing the whole to the side stuff, and it cracks me up. 7 of 9, I'm interested to see her character. Apparently from interviews, she doesn't like how Starfleet treated the Borg people that were rescued. So she has a little bit of issue with Picard and Starfleet. So, yet another person that hates Picard for some fucking reason. Alright, let's move on to the Borg Cube side of the episode and talk about how those Romulan siblings have definitely fucked. And if they haven't fucked, the sister has fucked her brother. I don't know about you, but my sibling doesn't get in bed and grab my torso and run their hands down to my genital area. That's creepy. They've boned. The sexual tension is really, really dense. But like I've said in other episodes, I have a feeling that she's more sexually pursuing him than the other way around, and it's just heebie-jeebies. I love Narek's and Soji's talk in the cafe and how she so quickly figured out, hey, something's going on with you. You seem to know where I'm always at. I've noticed that you are constantly in areas. You don't have a rank. You don't have a uniform. And their whole little talk was cute. The ice skating-ish representation scene was so cliche, and damn it, it got me. It could have been so eye-roll inducing, but I loved it. I don't know what I've become in my old age. It worked for me. Although, and I know this is really childish, but the problem is I'm a child trapped in an old woman's body, so this is going to keep happening. When Narex was telling his sister, oh, I've planted a seed in her, and then his sister's going off about the seed inside Soji, and I snickered like a teenage boy. Stop talking about putting seeds inside a Soji. It sounds so sexual. Could we not have picked a different term to roll with? I hate to say this, but the more I learn about Narex, the more I am absolutely in love with him. I'm still a little pissy with him because I feel like we're doing that generic storyline of the spy sleeps with the person, gets close to them, that person figures out, freaks out on them, but the spy had fallen in love with them and wants to redeem himself, and we're definitely going that route. But knowing more about him and how he's dedicated his life to the Destroyer story, the androids, and how seeing her has been his obsession, it makes me understand his character a lot more. And really, from his point of view, if she is the Destroyer leading the Day of Annihilation when the demons are unshackled, and to the Romulans, the demons would be the other androids, so Soji is going to be the leader, the Destroyer of all these other androids, and they're going to just fuck up the galaxy. He would think that he's the good guy. He's doing the right thing. He's trying to stop this monster from activating and destroying everything. The Romulans have already been beat down so hard. They want to stop anything else bad from happening on that level again. And arguably the Destroyer Day of Annihilation is a lot bigger than your sun going supernova. I have a feeling that Soji being the Destroyer is whatever group thinking, okay, we're going to overthrow the governments in this galaxy and remake it in an image that we think is best because we know better than everybody else and we have all the different species squabbling, we need to unite them. And somehow they're going to use the Borg technology. They're going to use the Borg technology to make them all one unit, and so there's so much less fighting, is what I guess they're doing. Could be completely wrong. Don't give a shit if I am. Soji, on the other hand, I'm becoming more and more sad for her the more we learn about her, such as her being asked, hey, how'd you get such perfect Romulan? And her saying, oh, my dad's friend, a professor at the U, taught me. And it's all these fake memories implanted in her head to explain everything that she's good at or does, and it's so painful, and it's being built up so slow for the reveal to be done to her that these aren't real memories. This isn't your real past. Now, I'm not going to get into philosophy and argue with you whether it's real or not, because what is real? I don't want to get into that fight, okay? You know what I'm saying. Okay, so those are my thoughts on episode 4 of Star Trek Picard. I am a bit sick, so I'm probably all over the place. Am I always all over the place? Probably. Oh, speaking of place, because I never get tired of the death and rape threats. This show takes place in the Star Trek universe where there's no longer any disease, war, poverty, and people work not for money, but for what they enjoy. A boring place.